Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Full Time to Travel Time.
Today, we have another very exciting guest, someone that we got to meet really just earlier last year, and we really hit it off and are excited to have her in the podcast studio. So, Kim, can you introduce our guest?
Oh my gosh, with pleasure. So excited. So today's guest is a real advocate for conscious living and sustainable change. Dorie Morales, that's you, is the publisher and CEO of Green Living Magazine, a leading resource that empowers people to live a healthier, more eco-friendly lives. Through her leadership, Dorie has spent years exploring the connection between sustainability, travel, and what I love most, everyday living, which is awesome. She's passionate about supporting eco-lodges and sustainable businesses and stories that really inspire action, from eco-travel to green business practices to everyday wellness. And through her work, she's really built a community that believes sustainability is not just a trend, it's a lifestyle, and even more importantly, a responsibility, I would say. So thank you so much for being on the show today, Dorie.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited. It was great to meet both Kim and Isaac at the Green Living event last year, and I'm thankful and grateful for both of you and excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. And shout out Ashley, who was just in the studio yesterday for introducing us from Green Light Solutions, and we're really excited that she asked us to sponsor your event that time because we got to come and meet you.
And I can't believe, are we really saying this was a whole year ago? Because
It was last year. It wasn't a whole year ago.
I just feel like we've known you for a lot longer at this point, to be honest.
Well, we became fast friends.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very true. And the event they're talking about is the Best of Arizona Awards, which is a really fun and unique event to be a part of, to be honest.
Yeah.
We sponsored the waste diversion from that event with Green Light Solutions, where we diverted 91% of the waste at that event, which was really amazing. But the Best of Arizona was cool because Green Living Magazine, you guys highlighted and gave awards to the most sustainable businesses in different industries. What blew my mind, honestly, was there was even a realtor there who was deemed most sustainable realtor business. That's
Green Realtor.
Thank you. Yes, that's very fascinating. And even the town or city of Sedona, a brewery we met. There were all sorts of very interesting industries in there. So it was really cool to be a part of that
and
event.
we've gotten to go to several of those businesses now, too, because now we knew, and we were like, we got to go check them out. And we've had fantastic experiences at all the businesses that won awards there that we've been to so far.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's the power of a small community. If everybody comes together, I think Sedona won 14 different categories.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Sedona's awesome. I think we all know that. It's a world-class destination for more than one reason, for more than 14 reasons easily I could name. But yeah, so in today's episode, I'm really excited because we are exploring a lot of different things about how to find a sustainable eco-lodge, what the heck an eco-lodge even is, how to travel more sustainably, and we'll even jump into your own story, Dorie. Dorie. I like how that sounds together. But your journey in really building this Green Living magazine, and the bonus also for those who are listening is people who are visiting Arizona. We're actually going to highlight some eco-friendly local businesses that you should definitely check out when you're visiting Arizona. So yeah. Wonderful. Ready for a great show?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Isaac, you want to start us off?
Sure. So, we were just so fascinated to learn about Green Living Magazine and know more about your story. And it's been the go-to for conscious living in Arizona. But let's go back. How did it get started? How did you decide,
Did you say rewind? Sorry.
Yeah. How did you decide, did you really want to focus on a sustainably based magazine, and kind of what did that look like?
So basically, it was my former business partner came to me. He and I had done some multifamily businesses or multifamily magazines previously. Some people came to him and said, why don't you start a lifestyle magazine in Scottsdale? And he said, oh, yeah, there's not many of those. And then they said, why don't you start a green magazine? And so we did our due diligence. There was nothing like it in the market. I was actually going to Portland, and I got to the airport and I saw, where does the United States rank in sustainability? Got on Southwest, and the front cover was, what does sustainability mean to you? I was going to Portland, need I say more? I basically called him and said, I'm in. Let's start this magazine.
Yeah.
Wow. And there aren't many sustainable magazines like doing what you do. Is that correct?
None. The USA Today had a quarterly one back in the day. There was one in the Midwest. There was one in Hawaii. There was a Conscious Company one, no longer around. And I think there was one in Canada that I do not believe is alive anymore.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And also, like, I know this is an Arizona-based magazine as well. Do you foresee a future where we have these kind of magazines in other states as well?
Possibly. There could be some opportunity for other magazines in other markets.
Portland would eat it up, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. And you've spent
Washington.
You've
California.
spent years highlighting green living. Like, that's what this whole magazine is literally called, Green Living Magazine. But we actually don't know much about your own travel history and story. Although I have an inkling maybe you sparked a passion of travel with your foreign exchange student. You lived in France for a bit. But I'm curious, like, what inspires your personal love for travel, and how does that passion intersect with your mission of, like, conscious living?
So my dad traveled a lot when I was younger, and he wanted me to go to boarding school in Switzerland. So I traveled at a young age and went to Switzerland, and that kind of started it for me. And I flew over to Switzerland by myself, and I was pretty young. And then from there, I was a foreign exchange student when I was 18 in the Basque region of France, and I had no idea how it would change the trajectory of my life.
Wow.
Because my girlfriend's in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
She's drinking wine, boating, having the time of her life. She put metropolitan. I put rural. In the small family, people would find out it was a little village of 1,500 people, and then they would decline their applications. So they were so excited to get me, and the family that hosted me was unbelievable. And I wound up milking cows and goats and seeing all chickens on the farm and making our own milk that we would have in our cafe au lait and sweeping up the farm. And it was an unbelievable experience.
I know France really changed us in the way that we think about food in general. Like, the French are so focused on hyper fresh, hyper local, hyper fresh, and like excellent ingredients. And so that, like, we just hadn't come across that to that extent ever before, and like it really changed the way we thought about food and the way we want to try and consume food. Even when we come back, we really try and go more to the farmers markets or the local bakeries and that kind of stuff, because we just had such an amazing experience with food in France.
And I think we can all agree, like, when you get those kinds of ingredients like you did in France, like fresh, it just tastes so much better. Like,
and
picking your onions from the earth, and
sheep milk and sheep cheese is unbelievable from that region, and the Gâteau Basque and the food. Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. And we felt great, we felt great, and we lost, like, we came home and people were like, did you lose all this weight? And we're like, we didn't try. Like, we were eating our hearts out, it wasn't like we attempted to lose weight.
And I like hearing you say, did you lose all this weight? Like, people look at me and they're like, you don't have weight to lose. How did you lose 15 pounds? And I was like, I don't know where it came from, maybe my butt, but like I walked a lot. That's the culture between the eating really well there. Like, both you actually feel full without having a massive meal. You're just getting, I think, like more nutrients and more realness going into your gut and into your soul, if I might say, So yeah, it's really...
The family too, they cared all about organic and biology farming. So there's no pesticides or anything like that. And then when I went back with my family 20 years later, they had a magazine in their store that was called Le Plein Naturel, which was a green living magazine in France. And that's when I was like, this trip changed my whole life.
Wow.
That's so amazing.
And that's what travel can really do. For me, like, traveling, it opens up these ideas and things that you just like hadn't thought about. Like, every culture comes up with different solutions to the same problem, and like when you can see someone else's solution, you can kind of combine it with your own and create something that's even better than if the two cultures hadn't interacted at all. So that's what I love about travel, is it just like opens up your brain and your understanding of like, oh, there's all these different solutions, and like this one is really cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Speaking of cool things, Isaac, I'm stealing the next question.
Okay.
But mostly because I think I can pronounce things better than you.
I'm sure you can.
When it comes to that. But I know you've actually stayed at quite a few eco lodges in your experience, like CGH hotels in Kerala, India, and Al Marnik Farmhouse, speaking of farms, and that was near Lake Como in Italy, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and super cool. But for our listeners, what the heck is an eco lodge? Let's start there. And what makes it different from just like a cozy cabin in the woods or a boutique hotel?
So basically in Europe, if you put in eco B&Bs, you can find all of these different places that you can actually go within Europe. And so I reached out to the head of the Eco B&B and said, I'm looking at doing something that's very agritourism. I'm going to Lake Como. I don't want to stay in a big lavish hotel. And so she found this place. I reached out to the owner, and he worked with all local wineries. He worked with their World Wildlife Foundation and things like that. And I seriously had the best blackberries I've ever had in my life that were in the bed of his truck.
Oh.
And they made their own jams and cheeses, and the food was unbelievable. And
You're making us hungry,
I
Dorie.
know, I'm like, feeling a little
Over
bit.
here, did you bring snacks? Because dang.
Not from France, she didn't.
I should have.
Right?
No, gosh. So what I'm hearing is an eco lodge is really mainly focused on thriving from local goods, products, and things like that. Is that correct?
Yes, it's like an eco B&B. So it could be a bed and breakfast, or it could be a little lodge. And this place was back from the 1800s, and they had totally renovated it and were really conscious about their energy consumption and everything that they did as well. So you could basically just look that up, and they had to have a point system to be awarded, and they worked with a little city, city, to make sure that they were green certified. And
That's great, because that was our next question.
Well, and I wanted to ask, you said you had reached out to someone to help you find this. Who was it that you had reached out to?
well, I Googled the Eco B&B,
Okay.
and then I sent an email and said, I'm going to Italy, and these are the places that I'm going. Do you have any recommendations?
So
if I'm
Eco B&B is like an organization?
an organization, a
Okay.
European organization.
so-
And I'm sure they have something similar in other countries, but
Okay, so they're the organization that kind of oversees the eco lodges, making sure that they have the points they need and the resources they need. And so you reached out to them, and they were able to connect you to the final place that you ended up staying.
they gave me two or three, maybe four different places, and then which one that could accommodate me during
Yeah.
the time that had availability.
Okay, that's really
cool.
good to know because
Yeah.
trying to do individual research and finding each of these individual because one thing that we found, especially smaller businesses, they're oftentimes not great at their online presence. That's why we have a company helping those types of businesses with their online presence. But,
True.
so that's really cool to know that there's an overarching organization that kind of oversees everything. You can reach out to them, and they'll help you figure out where there are eco lodges in that area. That's great. That's great knowledge. And we love Lake Como as well. We only got to spend a day on Lake Como, but what an amazing place.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Lake Como is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorgeous.
So
and the
did you?
accessibility to all the places around it, like Bellagio and all these different places.
Were you in the mountains around?
The
in,
mountain above.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was about 15, 20 minutes down into town. And
Okay. Did you have to take a road, or was there a gondola, or?
we rented a car.
Okay.
So we drove the car down, and then we were able to do the different boat tours
Yeah.
and see our friends and go shopping. And
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like an amazing experience.
And the
'cause
view from up there, too, I would imagine is
it was
whoa.
amazing. I'm
yeah,
Yeah.
and everything. They had compost and recycling and trash, all marked at the little bed and breakfast
That's
as well.
amazing.
Do you remember the name of that one?
I can't think of it right now, but we can put the articles in the show notes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, because Dorie definitely wrote articles about them.
Excellent.
We can share that
So
with
we'll,
you.
we'll drop those in the show notes for anyone else looking around that area because I know Lake Como is extremely famous, but there's not when I was doing research, there's not a ton of information, at least written in English about
Yeah.
what to do in that area. So I kind of had to figure out, well, okay, how do I piece this together to actually go and visit Lake Como? And we had friends who went and didn't even realize that they just thought it was the city of Como, and they didn't realize like that was the whole lake. You know, there was so much more to do on the lake and everything. So
And how many celebrities live on that lake? Like,
Right.
that's part of like
Who
every
you could
tour.
see.
It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
there's Clooney's house,
Yep.
there's Armani's, there's Grant Cardone, not Grant Cardone, the Virgin Mobile guy.
yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking
I
about.
know.
I can't. Richard Bronson.
Thank
yeah.
you. So it's so
Our-
different.
A bus tour driver, not the driver, but the tour guide. She was like, "Oh yeah, I ran into him at a restaurant." And I was just like, "Hey."
Side note to that too, that was absolutely the trip we took where one of the bus tours, like we couldn't sit next to each other, and that kind of like upset us a bit because we were trying to do this like beautiful tour together. So then the bus driver was like, well, one of you could sit in the very front of the bus right next to the driver. And like, you don't understand, for those of you who are listening, like these buses is like pure glass on the front, like flat nose bus. And Isaac had like, it looked like an astronaut seat. Like,
It did kinda- I was
completely strapped into the
strapped
front.
in,
I
yeah.
think your feet dangled a little bit.
It was
Like,
a weird seat, but
and he sat in the like absolute most front, right against the front flat nose of the bus, and I sat like directly behind him in a normal bus seat. But like he had the full like glass experience. I
Yeah.
was like, dude, that seemed cool.
yeah, I got some good videos of that
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh, yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I know, Dorie, back to the eco lodges, you kind of alluded to what our next question is. Isaac, I know you had some questions about the eco lodges.
Yeah, so, first of all, like, how do you, we talked a little bit like how you found them, but like, how do you know they're the real deal? And are you looking for specific standards, or do you look for something specific if you go on to the website to really tell, like, oh, this is an eco lodge? Or I know I'm sure there are a lot of lodging that maybe not certified eco lodge, but are really like, they have a lot of policies in place to be more sustainable. Like, how are you identifying what are more eco lodge like places?
What's real?
Yeah.
So what I did was, after I had reached out to Sylvia, when I reached out to I don't even know what they're called, a bed and the person who owned the B&B,
Yeah.
I asked him, I'm really interested in localism and what you do, and then I did the research of reading on his website, of knowing that he had this connection with the World Wildlife Foundation, and he had won these awards and different things like that. And then I emailed him about it as well.
Okay.
And then he
Cool.
could say,
Yeah.
yeah, we use a local winery and we support local businesses and we're a part of the local city
And you said
certification.
something about points too, like you have to have so many points to be like certified or something. Was that right?
Yep, they had
Yeah.
to verify that as well.
Yeah, so they probably earn like a badge or something, I would imagine, after getting so many points to say like, we are a real eco lodge. So you could probably see that on his website full of his awards and accolades. Is that right?
That is
Yeah.
correct. And then in terms of going to, as opposed to bed and breakfast, there's also Beyond Green, which is a company that certifies larger hotels. And that's one of the hotels I stayed at in Milan. So
Okay.
that's
Cool.
a great, and they have to go through a rigorous process to become Beyond Green certified.
Yeah.
And so is that another, you went onto the Beyond Green website and then you could like search locations and everything pops up there?
Yes.
Very cool. Because,
Nice.
yeah, we really enjoyed our stay in Milano, and,
was too
we didn't
short.
really know much about it
Yeah.
when we went there. And like, it was a very cool mix of like the history of Italy, but the modernism of, they're bringing in these modern buildings, and we got to see this building that was like, isn't it called like the vertical forest or
Something. You're like basically in a meadow in Italy with like nothing around, and then you have two large skyscrapers, I would say, like two towers that look like maybe like they're residential, though.
I
People
think
live
they're
in them, right?
condos,
They're
yeah.
condos, but completely covered in green. Everything is green.
I think I
There's-
remember seeing those.
Yeah, it's like green trees growing off the balconies. The rooftop is completely covered. There's like draping green plants all over everything of it. And again, to just see like those two towers of people living in there covered in green amongst a giant meadow in Italy of all
Yeah,
places,
well,
like in Milan of all
Mil-
places.
in Milan, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's just
In the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
astounding.
Yeah, like all around the meadow, there's like major buildings, and everything. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a cool experience to see how they're bringing like the modern
I think you're trying to say there's a nice balance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
The
It'll come
natural
to you.
world within the city.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
blanking the name. It starts with an A, but hey, we'll figure it out at some
I'll
point.
figure it out. But yeah, when it comes to like traveling sustainably, though, you've traveled internationally. We road trip all the time. I know for some people, or maybe even a lot of people, like traveling sustainably can probably feel a little bit overwhelming, especially when you're first getting started, because it's like, how? What do I do? So what would you say, Dorie, are like a few easy, like real world tips that people can start using today, either before their trip or during their trip even?
I think starting out looking at your luggage and sustainably sourcing your luggage and the brand, and then look at trying to buy products that are waste-free or simple swaps. Looking at your clothes, you don't have to take a ton of them. And then also, I'm a big proponent of, this kind of goes into lifestyle, but making sure you're buying secondhand clothing and organic cotton clothing, because cotton's the dirtiest crop. Let me think. And then when you go looking at what there is in terms of bed and breakfast or beyond green and where you're going, and obviously looking at how you're going to travel when you get there, because traveling through an airplane, does the airplane offer carbon credits? Are they giving back? Simple things like that, because obviously in your trip when you're flying, especially if you're flying to Japan or something like that, you're using up a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
What do you mean by carbon credits? I've never heard that before.
They work with, oh my gosh, so carbon credits, so there's ranchers and local people and farmers that you can actually, the airline goes and works with those farmers and they give back credits to them. It's almost like a non-monetary type
That's
of
very
thing.
cool. Yeah. And that's a lot of good tips right there, not just a couple. There's a lot to choose from. And even I see a lot more people, even like my sister, when she travels by plane to visit from Indiana or something, she always has the reusable, refillable, I think they're like silicone or something, shampoo, conditioner, body wash kind of things, which I see a lot more people using now instead of buying like the travel size plastic, like stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, and then we always try and bring reusable things, I would say. So reusable bags, we always pack a couple. Even if we're flying somewhere, we'll pack a couple of reusable bags. And in most other countries, single-use plastic bags are outlawed.
Right.
So you're gonna need a reusable bag at the grocery store anyway. We always pack some reusable water bottles, so we don't have to buy new water bottles. And in Europe, at least, most European cities have great aqueduct systems or water systems, and you can literally find clean water throughout the city that you can just refill your water bottles. A great tip here is actually All Trails in Europe shows where there are water fountains in many cities. And
That is so helpful.
yeah,
Definitely.
It was really helpful to be able to just pop open All Trails and look in the city and be like, oh, we have to go 2 blocks over, 1 block over, and there's a fountain for us. So.
And remember, All Trails is a free app that you can download on your phone. So
Yeah.
they have a paid version too, but to do what you're saying, that's free.
Yeah.
The other thing with when I was in Kerala, India, they only use glass bottles at their hotels, and then also they used reusable bags for their trash, but they used ceramics. So they would come in and fill up your shampoo on ceramic dishes.
And
which were-
open-faced like ceramic dishes?
or like a kind of like a little pitcher. They'd fill it
Interesting.
up every day, so there was no
Yeah.
plastic. And then they had biomass digesters on the property and butterflies and
Wow.
local organic chefs that were right there.
That's
It was
very cool.
That's amazing.
So that's another eco lodge that you stayed at?
the CGH
CGH.
hotels.
Hotels.
I got you. I know where you've
Okay.
been.
Cool. Yeah, and then the other thing that we try and do when we're flying somewhere is we try and take public transport as much as we can once we've landed. So, when we spent 3 months in Europe, 2/3 of it was all public transport. And there were times where maybe flying would have been faster. I can think about when we went from Nice to Milan, that was about an 8-hour train ride. And one of the more challenging train train rides we took, purely because we went through so many tunnels and your ears would pop pretty
so much.
heavily
Yeah.
because you're going so fast. So we've learned that get chewable ginger, which you can find almost at any market in Europe.
And when he says chewable, he means like actual dried ginger fruit. Sometimes, I mean, majority of the time it'll be like crystallized ginger. So it's like sugar crystals on the outside. But, you know, it makes a huge difference though. Because usually you eat that for like nausea or vertigo kind of things. But with the ear popping, like it kind of just disorients you when you're going that fast through those tunnels.
Yeah.
That did totally help.
But that was really the only train ride that was a bit challenging. And we took other very long train rides because then we went from, you know, Switzerland to Florence, and that was a good 8-hour train ride as well. And that one was great, like no problems. And so, you know, we were able to do almost everything without a car. The only times we had to rent a car is one in Switzerland. We rented a car for a week just to do some mountain passes. But Switzerland has phenomenal, phenomenal public transport. And like, I remember one time we were waiting for a bus and it was like 8 minutes late, and everyone at the bus stop was like looking at their clocks, like, when is this going to come? Like in France, it's 20 minutes late, and people are like, oh yeah, we'll show up at some point, you know.
But Switzerland is like, it is always on time,
Yeah.
99.8% of the time.
Yeah.
And when it's not, people are like,
where is it? It's 8 minutes late.
That was funny. That was funny.
So that was really cool. And then we did rent a car for a couple weeks just to explore Tuscany, because there was some of these small towns that we were going to that just didn't have, you know, the public transport.
Well, Tuscany is like so spread out in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere too. So yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't been to Tuscany yet.
Oh wow.
It's on my bucket list.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, Florence is one of my favorite cities in the world. Firenze is just a phenomenal place, and you know, it's like so much art, so much culture, so much good food. Oh my God.
Affordable food too.
Oh, the food was so affordable there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, just Tuscany. One thing we didn't realize is how many walled-in towns, like castle towns, there are in Tuscany and in Italy in general. And I had no clue these towns existed. And yet these are like ancient towns that have really both modernized but also like stayed true to the historical roots. And so a lot of them are, you know, no cars are in there, or you can only have a car in there if you're like a resident. And so like one of them we stayed at, we could drop our stuff off at our place, but then we had to park outside of the city and couldn't bring our car back into the city until we were picking up our stuff.
I love that though. That's so great.
Yeah, so that was a really cool experience.
We have a carless community here in Tempe, too.
Yeah, which is like, wow. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's called cul-de-sac. We have not seen or explored it, but exactly what you're saying. I've heard it's super walkable. There's restaurants there, and more like European style. I think you even might have like a bakery, a grocer, like all these separate businesses that you can kind of walk to, and all local, more importantly.
Yeah, no, we have to check that out because we really missed the walkability of European cities for sure.
Definitely. All right, I think it's time for a game.
Okay.
So what we will be playing is called The Most Unexpected Game. So I'm going to ask a question about something that's the most unexpected, and then each of us have to give our answer for that question. And I won't make you start because you'll need time to think about it. So question number 1. What was the most unexpected place you've been to that was way more eco-conscious than you expected? And for me, I will start while you guys think about it. But I always love seeing like the national park system in general, like engage in sustainability efforts is really cool. Specifically the Great Smoky Mountains. Isaac, is that like is it the number one or
Most visited, yeah.
most visited national park in the U.S. And also, like, you don't have to pay a fee; you can just drive through it. But they have 2 solar-powered visitor centers, which is pretty cool, and the Cable Mill area in like Cades Cove, which is like one of the most popular areas. They have 80 panel solar array powers. You can tell I don't know what I'm talking about, but like solar stuff.
Any solar
Stuff. But it powers like their restrooms and their bookstore and their visitor centers, and it replaced a diesel generator. So not only is that really amazing, but it's also a lot quieter too, which means it's probably way nicer for the animals in the area too.
And interestingly, Great Smoky Mountains, because they don't charge an entrance fee, they actually had way more products at the visitor center that were all local products that were developed literally within that park. And so we actually were able to buy wine that was developed in
Oh,
that
yeah.
park.
Oh, it's really good.
And yeah, like they bottled their own water from the park.
Isn't that where you got my necklace from, too?
Yeah, that
I'm not wearing it right now, but Isaac
that was
got me...
Shenandoah, actually.
Oh, Shenandoah. All right,
Yeah.
side note, then I'll come back. A cottonwood spring tree leaf dipped into
I know
silver.
I know that necklace.
So
I've seen
gorgeous.
it. It's
You
beautiful.
have, thank you. I wear it a lot. I debated. I just have too many flowers going on to add leaves to it. But the only other thing I was going to say about Smokies besides the solar panels is they have wildlife crossings as well, like a whole project dedicated to they have overpasses and underpasses for like the deer, the bears, and the elk so that you don't run them over. I mean, that's the nicest way to say it, but that's really amazing. So they're still studying things with that too, and that's very like eco-conscious of them to help preserve the wildlife and also avoid accidents with people.
Yeah.
Isaac,
And
what
where is that national park, the Smoky Mountain?
the Great Smoky, that's Tennessee. Part of it is in Tennessee, and then the other part of it is in the state nearby.
I don't.
Isaac, you
I
remember?
don't think it goes into North Carolina, but it borders
It might.
Tennessee and North Carolina.
Yeah,
right
definitely
there.
Tennessee though.
And it's interesting actually. It's there's only like 2 or 3 national parks that just don't charge an entrance. But the people who owned like that huge swath of land donated it to the government at some point, but made them promise like we would never charge anyone for going through this road.
That's so sweet.
And so the government, doesn't charge to enter into that park because of that agreement that was made like 80 years ago. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and still keep to it.
Yeah.
Isaac, what about
That's
you?
awesome.
What's the most unexpected thing that you've seen that's
I
eco-conscious?
think the first time I went to Switzerland, I just really didn't realize all these other countries do way better at pre-sorting the recycling. And it's one of the big mistakes we make here in America is we don't pre-sort our recycling, and then a lot of recycling gets contaminated and is wasted, honestly. But in Switzerland, when we got there, like the first we were staying in a hostel, and they walked us in. They explained, right, we have like 5 trash bins, and this is what they mean. And it was like the final one was the trash, and they're like, this is the emptiest one. Like you should barely ever throw anything into this trash bin. And then it was a plastic one, a glass one, a metal one, aluminum one. And then a compost one. I think they had 2 different compost ones.
And they have composting toilets when you're in Switzerland and you're out looking at mountains and things like that.
Wow. Yeah. So
Toilets.
yeah, that like kind of blew my mind, and that really got me understanding like humans, we need to pre-sort our recycling to make it really efficient, and it's really not that hard. Once you get used to pre-sorting recycling, it's just second nature, and it's like essentially no extended energy. But it's just like such a foreign concept for us here in America. But it was just like, oh, wow, this makes so much sense. Instead of like using electricity to try and sort while everything's, all put together and this liquid has gotten on this, like, why don't we just pre-sort things before we put them in the bins? And then like that makes it way easier.
It's all about habits. Like,
Yeah.
just make it a habit, and then you don't think about it. You just put the aluminum in the aluminum bin.
So I know Seattle, San Francisco, we've been to several cities in America that have like 3 or 4 bins that they do pre-sorting at.
I would guess Oregon, too.
Which is cool to see.
I think a place in Maine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are definitely different cities that are doing that in America to a slightly less extent, but I hope to see our recognition of like there's so much resources that we can save through recycling. So especially stuff like aluminum is like infinitely recyclable, So it'd be great if we could just like start pre-sorting stuff a bit more and really get the most out of our resources that we're using.
Yeah, that's a good one, Isaac. What about you, Dorie? What's the most unexpected for you?
I think it was Kerala, India.
Oh, yeah.
Because I flew in and the airport was powered by solar. And when we took little trips, it was in a tuk-tuk. And they obviously are small little vehicles, and everything on the whole stay, there was barely any waste.
Wow.
Wow. And you didn't expect that going in. Like, you knew it would be somewhat eco-conscious, but not to that extent. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And the
that's-
food just all locally grown and sourced, and getting like a lobster right out of the water, like in a fish tank, and then eating it right there, and
Oh, my gosh.
huge plates
Again,
of fish.
Dorie, if we ever have you on this podcast again, you have to bring us snacks because
A lobster? Like,
I've never been so hungry on a podcast before.
You ate a couple pistachios.
I know, I should have brought some food. I'm feeling the same way.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm sure more food is going to come up in this episode, too. And actually it will, because I have that planned. But next question. What's the most unexpected challenge you faced while trying to travel sustainably? For me, we were first trying to like reduce our single-use plastics, and Isaac found really awesome like reusable water bottles. And we still have some of them. That's the bad part. I didn't build it into a habit yet to know like, oh, I carry these around with me everywhere. So we went to France, and I think it was one of our first places. We stayed in an Airbnb that Napoleon Bonaparte used to sleep in.
Well, he stayed it there at one point.
You should see his room. Oh my gosh.
It was wild.
Whoa. Anyways.
Nice.
It was like a throne room.
It
the
was
whole
like the
ceiling,
vaulted ceiling, but it was like a circular vaulted ceiling.
and the whole
almost.
dome of the ceiling was intricate statues crafted into it. You know, like the baby angels that look down over you. Like, but everything was gold. Like it was just like, what is this? So crazy.
It was a pretty crazy experience.
Yeah,
for
he was
sure.
an interesting guy too. He could only speak French, so we only spoke French back and
She
forth.
means the host,
Oh,
not
yeah.
Napoleon.
I guess I should back up.
I saw Dorie being like, yeah, I know, he probably definitely spoke French.
Isaac understands, you know. But anyways, I accidentally left 2 of our... Did we bring all 5 bottles with us, Isaac?
No, I don't think so. But
Well, our only 2 then. I left 2 of the reusable water bottles in the fridge, and we left the Airbnb. And by that point, you know, when you're in Europe hopping from country to country, Isaac messaged him and was like, they're reusable, so please enjoy. And he was like, thanks so much.
yeah, he was excited for them. So again, they still serve a purpose. They're helping him now. So it wasn't.
It was just definitely an oopsie of mine.
Yeah.
And then to not have the reusable water bottles for like the rest of that trip. I think we had 1 left.
I think we had one.
I think we bought 3
we
of our
didn't,
5.
And then we went and bought another one from a
We
local
had
store.
to, yeah. It was such, yeah. But you got to build habits first. Dorie, what would you say is like an unexpected challenge that you face?
I would say I drive an electric vehicle, and we have a home in Rocky Point, and not really being comfortable with the electric charging, and if the electric charging stations would actually be working. And
is it hit and miss there?
in general, it's hit and miss. There's different electric charging that I've gone to within the United States, and they'll have 5 charging stations and only one's working.
Have you run into an issue where your car died?
I've never had it die, but it's gotten really low. It's been down to like 5 miles.
Oh my God.
Add some excitement to the travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
So it is definitely something. Obviously, this is a new technology, and figuring out how to build that infrastructure. We're seeing that be built out. But it definitely takes some time. We were surprised in Switzerland. Almost all the rental cars now are partial electric, and so a ton of Airbnbs had actually electric outlets in Switzerland and France and Italy. Like, I was surprised how many did, and almost all of our rental cars were partial electric.
And I hope that more countries, like aside from the United States as well, will build out like an app that you can use to find like the nearest like EV charger. Like I know in working with Ashley with Greenlight Solutions, we were connected to someone. Their company's called Buzzy. Buzzy.
I'm familiar.
You know. Yeah, which is really cool because then you can find places to stay or even just like park your car there at someone's house and you get to use their EV charger because sometimes, you're traveling or in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You got to plan, especially with a fully electric vehicle. I know you have to plan in advance to know like it will only get me this far. I need to make sure I fill up here or do a fast 15-minute charge here, etc. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Proper planning is needed. And it's making me remember I was in Sedona and my car was getting low and I had to like plug in Camp Verde, and I've had to plug in 2 event spaces in Phoenix because there's no electric charging.
Yeah. Not yet,
So.
right? Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Isaac, what about you?
Yeah, I think it was when we were in Switzerland. We were taking the train, all throughout Switzerland, and I had seen like an alert pop up that there was actually a crash. There was in one of the main tunnel to get from Lugano to where we were going, there was a cargo train crash. And so we got there early the next day and found that all the trains going through this tunnel, which was like the main way to get from where we were to the main, like central Switzerland, like couldn't go through that.
It was like Goddard's tunnel or something like that.
So that was a pretty crazy experience. But, you know, there was like hundreds of people waiting in line. But I realized there was someone outside helping people too. So I was like, Kim, you stand in line. I'm going to go talk to this person out here. And she was help me reroute to more like regional stations. So these were like not going through the tunnel. So it added like 3 hours onto our train because we had to take the regional trains from like this town to this town to this town. But we got to see like incredible views because of it. Like we got to see waterfalls and rivers, and we got to sit with two Switzerland high school boys who like taught us different things about the culture and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
So it actually turned out to be a cool experience, but you know, it was like getting to that next Airbnb the next day because we had to hit this one bus to get up to the top of the mountain. And so we got off the train, and I was like, Kim, as soon as we got off the train, we got to run to this bus because we were like 2 minutes between like landing on the train and getting to the bus. And we ran and we got onto the bus.
And of course, that's when I had a giant ass luggage too. Like I made such a bad mistake. That's a previous episode. Go find it. It's like one of our most watched episodes. It's like how to travel Europe like a pro and not bring a suitcase the size of Kim's.
Yeah. I tried to warn Kim. I tried to warn her to get a small suitcase, and I made her unpack a suitcase like twice, 2 times before we left.
And the wheel still broke off. And Isaac duct taped the crap out of it. There were like literally screws loose on the inside of the suitcase, but somehow it made it 3 months worth on those cobblestone roads. Oh, good gosh.
And it was funny. It wasn't until we landed in the Phoenix airport and you were rolling it out and the wheel completely broke off in the Phoenix airport after we got back.
It was so polite. It waited for me to come home. So ridiculous. Yeah. The last one I want to ask everyone is like, what's the most unexpected sustainable product that you've packed for a trip that was totally saving the day? Like a total game changer. For me on this one, this is why I said food is going to come up again. But less of a product, more about food. It seems to be the topic. I would say the chocolate peanut butter protein balls that I make. Isaac can speak to this. You like those.
Delicious.
Oh my gosh. But it's very easy to make. It's quick and it's no bake. But I like it especially because when you're like hiking or road tripping or you want to snack, you don't want to snack on junk also. But it's packed with fiber, so it actually keeps you full. And because it has peanut butter in it, you get some protein, which is great. And also, like, it's made with... what kind of powder, Isaac? Cacao powder, Keiko, whatever it's called.
She said Keiko powder once while we were in a tea store. She's like, "Oh, is that Keiko and mint?" And the guy literally doubled over in laughter. He was laughing
he held his
so
stomach.
hard.
It's because there's a Portlandia episode, and Fred Armisen like plays a woman, and every time like he has to say his safe word or something, he's like, "Keiko." And he says Keiko, so now I literally just never remember the difference. Is it Keiko or is it cacao? Because cacao sounds like a Batman like from the 80s in the comics, and they're like, cacao. Like, it just doesn't sound right.
It's almost like when Mark and I were in New Jersey and he wanted to get some tortillas, and we're searching the store, and then someone goes, "Oh, tortillas? Yeah, we got tortillas."
Yes, exactly.
This even happened to me in North Carolina. I was a manager at Target, and someone came in and they're like, "Hey, you have any toboggans?" And I was like, "No, it's North Carolina. We don't sell sleds. Like, we don't." And he's like, "No, you definitely have toboggans." And I was like, "Sir, we don't sell like sled." He's like, "Can you get on the walkie?" And so I got on the walkie and I was like, "Hey, do we sell toboggans?" And so I was like, "Oh yeah, over the side." I was like, "What?" So I walked him over there. I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't see any." He's like, "They're right here," and they're just another word for winter hat.
Oh my gosh. Wait, were they foreign? Were they from America?
No, this is a North Carolina term for a winter hat. It's a toboggan. I just never heard it before.
Like, if they said, "I need a toboggan for my head," would you have? That also sounds weird. I don't know.
I just thought we were talking about like an Olympic sled, like, so, yeah.
Also, side note, sorry, I brought up the cacao powder, Keiko, whatever it's called, because it has antioxidants. Okay, that was the last piece of my sentence. That's all I was trying to say.
Cool.
Isaac, what's the most unexpected sustainable product you packed for a trip that was like, yes?
Yeah, so sometimes with sustainable products, there are products that I think, help you change your habit to be more sustainable. They're not necessarily like sourced, from recycled goods or anything, but one of these products for me is cooling towels. And so a cooling towel, one is reusable, you can wash it, and essentially you get it wet and you swing it around, and then you can put it on your body and it's like ice cold. And so, you can walk for an hour and swing it around again and get it cold again. And why I see this as sustainable is like we've actually been able to use way less air conditioning when we're traveling because of it. And in France there wasn't air conditioning in a lot of places, and so having these cooling towels really helped us regulate our temperature while we were traveling. We didn't really have a lot of issues without the lack of air conditioning, even though it was super hot during a portion of the time we were in France.
Also legitimately saved our day, if not a lot of days, and maybe some lives. Like Arches National Park, it was summer and it was so hot. And if you've ever hiked in Arches National Park and you go to Delicate Arch, which is one of the most popular spots, there is no shade, there are no trees, and you are just being blasted with sun. So help avoid heat stroke, get a cooling towel. Again, you get it wet, bring a spare water so that you can use it just for the cooling towel too, because you don't need to dump a full water bottle on it. You get a little bit wet, you shake it, and it turns icy cold. So
yeah, we've used this a lot. We were in Jazz Fest in New Orleans, and Kim started getting a bit of overheating and heat stroke. And so I left her at this tent, that had shade, and I ran into someone who had a big jug of ice and was selling drinks. I was like, "Can I dunk this towel?" He's like, "Sure." So I dunked it and I ran back to her and put it on her. And,
so cold, it was so good,
and it really helped her not have heat stroke that day.
Brought me back to life.
Yeah,
so that was good.
So, yeah, so that's my product. We love cooling towels. We will be working on actually creating our own cooling towels, trying to figure out how we can do it with recycled material, most environmentally friendly, and get our branding on it. So that is one of our big goals, actually, is to start selling cooling towels, because we just believe in them so much and really think they can help in a large variety of ways.
Yeah, especially humidity too. His mom in New York, when she's gardening outside and stuff, and with the humidity being so high, it disorients you. It really does. So that's a great one, Isaac. So yeah, get yourself a full time to travel time branded towel, but not yet.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
And yeah, you
What's
can buy
yours?
it online. And then the other thing I was thinking about the whole time you were talking about the cooling towels is trying to find sourcing the right vendor for that where it's eco-friendly. So I'll be interested to
and if you have
in
any
our
connections, let us know. But that is something that we want, because we will be selling products and different sustainable products, but we want to really be able to figure out, okay, how are we sourcing these, and how are we getting it really from the source to us? What is the shipping looking like? We just want to look deeper into how are we actually getting sustainable products,
the whole
to
life
someone.
cycle.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
Life cycle analysis. That's
So
awesome.
What's the most sustainable product you've used that's been a game changer?
I would say toothpaste tabs. Because if you think about how many tubes of toothpaste, I think it's 1.5 million go into a landfill on a daily basis.
On a daily basis?
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do I use a toothpaste tab?
You just chew it up and then you brush your teeth with it.
So is it the size of an Altoid, a mint?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And think about how much more space you have where you don't have that big toothpaste. I know you can do the smaller ones,
And it
but
probably lasts longer. It's way easier to travel because you put your toothpaste thing in your suitcase. It gets squished and now you got toothpaste everywhere. But
just a few tabs and,
And so where do you get those?
any Whole Foods or Sprouts
Okay.
or Net Zero Waste Store. There's Desert Refillery.
Yeah.
Probably sells them too.
Okay.
Wow, I love that. And you can get different flavors, I assume, but spearmint is the way to go.
Cinnamon. I may be a cinnamon girl.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. I've been putting cinnamon in a
Wintergreen?
lot of things
Yep.
lately.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to look into that ASAP. I like that a lot.
I just had never known, and with the flying thing, you only allowed liquid of such a size, so
Correct.
this eliminates that issue.
Completely avoids that. Yeah, I love that. And what kind of packaging does it come in?
It's a little tube. Usually recycled, and
I was gonna say
there
not
are
a
some
plastic tube.
correct.
Yeah.
With biodegradable cardboard.
Okay.
Nice.
So then it just
Cool.
goes
Thank
right
you
back
for
to the
that.
earth.
I love that.
Yeah, I want to know more products.
I know.
I was just thinking when you guys launch that product, I'm thinking a subscription to Green Living magazine would be a great product. to have on.
Yeah. And to Dorie's point, like if you haven't checked out the Green Living magazine, we'll talk later in the podcast about like how to get on that. Obviously you can Google it too. But one thing I do love about the magazine is that there are so many different products in there, which is awesome. Like wellness products and business products and lifestyle products in general. I love that that's in there.
Yeah, it's great guidance, the products and the recipes. I love
Yes.
the recipes as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, back to food again.
This is me this time.
I know, maybe it's like we're eating our way through the world.
Right? I think we're going to have to do that as a podcast. Just like bring in food, like potluck style. And
Just eat here while everyone
different
watches
cultures.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So in terms of the next question, though, and then Isaac, you can have next dibs. But I think if I remember correctly, sometimes you do travel without your husband. Is this right?
This is true.
Okay. I think a lot of people would be curious. So, like, what is that experience like for you? Like, what's sometimes difficult about it, and maybe what's freeing about it to some extent too?
I don't think I've never had a problem traveling alone or with a friend, so I guess it's more freeing, but I love to have him around as well.
I
So,
love having him around too. He's a hoot.
yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
and
he's really enjoyable.
he's a comedian for sure, but I think I've always been very self-sufficient and wanting to choose my own adventure. So
And I love that he supports that too, you know? That's like, okay, Dorie, I trust you. Go off and do your thing in India. Like, have fun. Make good choices. I know you will.
share with me your experiences, and then he'll come back and be like, darn, I should have gone on that trip.
I'm sure that's how
He's
it goes
missed
most
a
of the
few
time.
of them. He
Yeah.
missed
Yeah.
an amazing Ireland trip,
Oh,
too.
don't rub it in.
man.
He's listening.
And we really want to go to Ireland and go like
Yeah.
castle hopping in Ireland. That's
Yes.
high up on our bucket list for sure.
Definitely. All right, Isaac, hit us with the next question.
What number are we at
We're
now?
at 7.
Okay. So because you're so involved in the green movement here in Arizona, you know so much more about like green businesses that are here and green products. Can you highlight some of your favorite like green businesses in Arizona, and like we just would love to know about them, and like where should people go if they're really wanting to support, businesses that are really focused on sustainability?
Definitely Arizona Wilderness
Yeah.
Brewery.
Fantastic.
So good.
Everything that they do is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Page Springs Winery in Cottonwood.
Okay.
And then there's also Pillsbury Winery that has a lot of sustainable initiatives. Desert Refillery for getting your zero waste products.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else farmers markets. Everything at a farmer's market, from products to groceries to like your best Indian food that you can ever get at High Street. I think that one of the most sustainable things you can do is shop at a farmer's market.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We got bone broth at a farmer's market. There's a lot of like sourdough at farmer's markets.
There's a lot of European influence, especially
Yeah.
like the Scottsdale farmers market. Like there's fresh croissants. Literally, the people are from France who have moved to Scottsdale, so you know it's legit kind of thing. Or like, oh, really good stuff.
And where is Desert Refillery?
It is on, I think, Central and Indian School, close to there.
Phoenix.
In Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely a place that we need to go check out, like
Oh,
ASAP,
gosh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've heard about it a lot, and we think it's an amazing idea, and we gotta head down there.
And we've seen them at a farmer's market before, I'm pretty sure, but I've never seen them in person at their place. So I agree with that one. And I just want to highlight Arizona Wilderness Brewery too, because we've definitely eaten there. Their food is so fresh and so just filling and good. But one thing I loved about visiting there too, we were on our way out and it's nighttime, and I was like, Isaac, look what's outside. And he was like, what? And I was like, they have herbs growing around the entire outside of their restaurant. They just have like the planter hangers on the outside of their fence because they have so much patio seating. It's awesome. And a whole tree. It's probably fake. Was it real? They have a tree like growing through the center of the restaurant. Pretty sure it's fake, but it looks awesome.
But,
I think
all the
that
fresh herbs.
they use all local purveyors and farmers, and
So good.
Recycled City for compost, which is another one of my favorite companies. The Mill Bin's great. Garden Goddess for fermented food. Peak Scents for natural skincare.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites.
Garden Goddess, we love that beet juice.
Yeah, didn't we
Can't
just
get
get a
enough.
shipment
Exception.
from Garden Goddess?
You know we did
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. We
3
got their
bottles.
beet juice, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
And
so
Exceptional Water is great for oxygenated water as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Some great like things that we're gonna have to go check out ASAP.
Like so hungry. We're gonna hear this all the time. But yeah, in terms of the magazine though, like I know and can only imagine how many balls you have to juggle running a magazine like this, and with all the different people you're talking to in industries. But I do imagine it also opens up like a lot of doors to exploring new places and capturing new stories, which is exciting. So how has being the publisher of Green Living magazine really allowed you to like explore more and travel deeper or really connect with people in more unique ways?
So, for example, this has just come up in Arizona recently, but I went to Aravaipa Farms, and it was an amazing experience, and walking down the river and then picking the pears right off the trees and the apples and just being able to eat them. And then yesterday I had an amazing conversation with I don't know, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
They run the Prickly Pear Festival, and that's in Superior in August. And learning about, they do a Prickly Pear Margarita Challenge.
Oh my gosh.
And all the cool things that they do. And then they've got 4 pillars where they have people talking about conservation, sustainability, food education. I can't remember what the 4th one was, but just learning about these unique and just, interesting events. Especially there's also an agave festival that just happened down in southern Arizona, and really connecting with these cities and places in Arizona and finding all these gems that you may or may not have
Ooh.
known of before. And then in terms of products, and I mean, there's the Waiuli plant out of Tucson is like another. They're working with Bridgestone, so it's a sustainable source of rubber. And had I not been in this industry, I wouldn't have found out about them. And I mean, every day is just a blessing because you learn something amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the people listening right now are going to be like, oh, I have to take so many notes.
Yeah, right.
Like, we have to take so many notes. I can't wait to,
We're
like,
learning so
re-listen
much.
to this episode again and be like, oh, we got to check out this place and this place. We got to write down August, go to the Prickly Pear Festival. Someone else told us we really need to check out Superior, Arizona, because we usually, like, drive past it or through it. But
Oh, the hiking in Aravaipa is unbelievable, and Superior is great. We just went there.
Wow.
We went to a local restaurant. There was a local ice cream shop, the main street.
So that's where Aravaipa Farms is Superior?
It's
or
a
nearby?
It's a little bit further, but
All
yeah.
right, noted.
I've
'Cause
heard that
need
the
to check out more
trails and
farms.
hiking,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
we
if you get a
definitely have
chance, Aravaipa Farms was actually owned by Carol Steele, which is C. Steele, and she's almost like one of the food godmothers of Phoenix.
Whoa.
Okay.
So
That's a bold
there's a lot of,
statement. Yeah.
and then they have straw bale houses that you could stay in.
Wow,
on Aravaipa Farms.
Oh, we'll have to check that out because, literally someone just talked to us like pretty extensively about Superior.
Well, when you hear it, it's a sign,
I know.
especially if a third person.
Isaac always says that if
it
you hear
happened 3 times.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
ours
we have
too.
that. Well, and the third time we literally just drove through it because we were going to our friend's cabin resort in Pine Top, Northwoods Cabins, and so we drove through Superior on the way. And then the next day someone talks to us about it, and then the next day someone else talks to us about it.
All right, we're going next road trip. Let's go. All right, Isaac, your turn.
All right, so what is one of the most fulfilling things that you've really come across from running this magazine? Like, what is it an event or something that you were like, wow, like this, being able to run this magazine lets me have this impact. What is a situation like that that's happened for you?
I would say it's actually the relationships.
Yeah.
I think everything goes back to relationships and having the magazine and connecting with the two of you. But I've met celebrities that are very passionate. Alyssa Reiner is she's amazing. And then Marcy Zaroff has a Eco Fashion Corporation, and she's got 4 different companies, and she's been on the magazine cover as well as Alyssa Reiner. And my editor's now interviewing Dave Asprey, who's like the biohacking God. You know,
I was waiting for genius. I hear it.
yeah. However word you want to use. But I think for me, it's really connecting with the people that have been featured in the magazine and being able to share their stories. And if they are doing events or recipes and highlighting them in the magazine and sharing their stories, because it can impact. And then also simple solutions. Teaching people, you know, what's a simple solution that you can do in your everyday life to just ditch that plastic straw or minimize the plastic you use in your home.
Like
or
toothpaste tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's amazing. And, you know, Kim and I talked about, even just after meeting you for the first time, we're like, wow, she is such an expert connector. Like, we could tell that you, like, are just so good at building relationships and then connecting people together to build, like, this network of everyone who's really working together to make this planet just, like, an even more incredible place to live.
I was also like, I got to talk to this woman because look at her outfit. Can you describe to everyone what you were wearing to the Best of Arizona Awards? Do you remember?
I do. One of my dear friends, Ruby Farias, is a fashion designer, and she created a beautiful plant outfit jumpsuit, and she hot glued all of those flowers onto that beautiful jumpsuit, and she actually made me a beautiful dress that I wore to the Green Oscars, and she hand made it for me.
Amazing.
And it was absolutely, it's a gown, and it has similar
wow.
flowers.
And it does not look like hot glue, like a child put this together, you guys. Like, it looked
No.
amazing. Absolutely one of, like, the good version of Poison Ivy. You know, that's what I saw you that day. And it was like bright pink on top and like green flowy pants, like all made of leaves. It was just, wow. So,
Well, sustainable fashion is definitely one of my passions, and also clean skin living and what you put in your body.
Wait, hold that thought, because this is my next question. You know, with your magazine, again, you highlight all of these incredible stories, the people, the industries, the products, the recipes. Name one, this is going to be hard, one of your favorite products that has been in your magazine and one of your favorite recipes.
There was a Power peanut butter bar made by Robin Miller that was pretty amazing, and she's a foodie. That was probably one of my favorite recipes that I've tried from the magazine. And then product, I do have to say I love Suzette's beet kvass, Garden Goddess.
Oh, so good. We second that.
Yeah.
It tastes so good.
Yeah.
Because it's not just straight beet juice either. I didn't know they put like a little bit of cinnamon and clove in
Cardamom.
it. Yeah, cardamom. Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah, so we take a shot of that pretty much every day, and we've noticed, like, one interesting thing I noticed is, like, when I turn 30, actually, like, when I stretch my, like, muscles actually, like, shake a little bit, but when I'm doing the beet juice, that doesn't happen. Like, I don't get as, like, tight, and I don't, like, even have to stretch as often, so,
And
yeah.
for me, I notice it just like you take a little shot glass, like it's like 2 ounces of beet juice a day, and it pipes you up. Like, you feel energy, you feel alive, you feel clean, you
I
feel
definitely
fresh.
did a shot of beet juice this morning.
Oh, why didn't you offer me one?
You were hectic and
Yeah, because I was like, we gotta get out of here on time. Let's
and
go.
I'm just like chilling, drinking my beet juice.
Oh my god! I'm like, are you ready yet? Yeah, that's why I keep control of the alarms and making sure we're here on time.
The other thing, too, I would have to say is the Village Health Club. I really enjoy.
yeah.
They're an advertiser in the magazine as well, and they have great mind, body, spirit classes. And
They have a ton of stuff. We've been to the Gainey Ranch location in Arizona, and it is just like a mansion's worth of wellness. I think is the best way to put it. It's not just like you show up and go to a gym. Like, they have so many different
it's
things.
an amazing community. It's similar, like,
Yeah.
for health and wellness of everything that Green Living's doing. And aerial yoga is one of my favorite. And
Wow.
every class is just amazing of the classes that they have, from like
Cool.
HIIT classes and metabolic conditioning to running the track or whatever.
Nice.
Very cool.
So
All right, Isaac.
Yeah.
Fiery finish.
rapid fire.
So, you know, I know you put so much focus into, conscious living and sustainable living. But what's like a small habit in your own life that you stick to every day and like that you would encourage other people to really start exploring, because it really can make a big difference both in your life and in the environment?
I have a ritual every morning that I meditate, and then gratitude and words of affirmation. And I think that the world would be a much better place if everyone practiced mindfulness or words of affirmation and took the time to really connect with themselves in the morning and at night, or, once a day, I think, or whenever, gratitude is everything.
Yeah.
I really love that.
I think that's
we
a great
support
suggestion,
that.
and it's something I used to do it a lot. I got away from it for a bit, and then like 2 or 3 months ago, I put that back into practice. That I go outside and I do gratefuls, and then I build intentions or affirmations, and I made that a habit before I do any work, before I open the email. Like that's the first thing I do in the morning, and it's really been. I'm so glad that I picked up the habit again, after kind of letting it go for a little bit. And one thing about habits that a lot of people don't realize is once you've established a habit, that like neural pathway is in your brain. So you might go off the habit, but when you are like re-engaging that habit, it's much faster after
like
you've already
muscle memory.
established it. So it was very easy for me to get back into the habit of it. It wasn't like any willpower, just like, oh, let me start doing this again. And it's actually like feels really great to be able to spend that time in the morning before I do any work or open up any email or get into the hectic life that that we live sometimes. It's outside building gratefuls and intentions, and our life is moving in really positive ways. So
yeah, and I will say for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with like building gratefuls, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually like quite difficult in the beginning for some people, where it's like, well, I don't know, like I woke up. Great. Be grateful for that. You woke up. The sky has no clouds today. That's something to be grateful for. Grateful doesn't mean you have to have these big extreme, like, I made $1,000 today. Like, that'd be cool too. I'd be grateful for that. But like, just be grateful. Like, I'm grateful we have Dorie here today. I'm grateful we're having fun on this podcast.
Yeah.
We've built this in as muscles for all of us. So again, we don't have to use our brain to really think about it. And naturally, Kim is just a happy person. So gratefuls are real easy for me, but start small. And again, like think of 3 things you're grateful for every day and start making that a habit. And you will be actually surprised by how you feel and how your life can change from this. Like you will naturally start feeling happier about the world as well. Because here's the thing, like there's always negatives in life, but there's always positives too.
Yep.
For every negative, there's absolutely a positive. Like
100%.
regardless of what's going on in the world, we've got plenty to be happy and grateful for.
Every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
And also whatever form of prayer, whatever that means to you as well. But every day is a blessing.
That's a good one.
It could be stretching. I was able to stretch. I'm able to move.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know this. I can't remember what the stat is, but every day, like how many people die, so it is a blessing that you are able to open your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Very cool.
Well, thanks for sharing all of that so far, Dorie. I will ask, now is the time, how can people get in touch with either you or they want you at their events, or how can we subscribe to Green Living Magazine? Tell us all the important details.
So greenlivingmag.com is our website. On all social media, Green Living Mag or Green Living AZ, depending on which platform, will get you connected with us there. And then they can email me at dorie.m@greenlivingmagazine. And I would love to chat with them, and they can connect with me on my personal social media platforms or through the magazine.
Very cool.
Awesome.
And do you have any events upcoming? Because I know you throw some really amazing events.
We have 3 coming up. One is a green stormwater infrastructure event July 25th in Prescott Valley.
Okay.
And then we've got a sustainable fashion event that's most likely going to be the end of September at Copenhagen Imports, or Copenhagen Living on 18th Street in Camelback. And then our 15-year Best of Arizona in October.
Wow. Very
That's
cool.
amazing. Also, for you listeners who are getting to this episode late, this is 2025. So if you want to see the most up-to-date events, go check out greenlivingmag.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thank you.
podcast
This has
today,
been a
Dorie.
pleasure. I appreciate, and I'm very thankful and grateful that I had the pleasure of being on this podcast with both of you. Wonderful human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to learn a lot of stuff that we're going to take
yeah.
action on immediately.
I want to
so.
go get some toothpaste tabs. Like, sounds amazing.
Absolutely.
And now, the other thing I like about that, I'm just going to go off, is that now you don't have to share the tube of toothpaste with someone. You know how gross that thing gets? I got an 18-year-old nephew, no offense, man. But, like, it gets goop everywhere, and you got to rub it against your toothbrush. Now we're, like, avoiding germs.
And bamboo toothbrushes are another one of my favorites, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very
There's
cool.
so many things. So thank you so much, Dorie. It's been awesome. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
we just have one last thing to ask of you, that when we sign off, you have to join us in our sign off. So when we say thanks for joining us on, you got to say full time to travel time. Just like that. Nice and slow. Easy flow. Got
Okay.
it? All right.
You're going to put that in every time. Nice and slow. Easy flow.
Ooh, I do like that. My rhymes are on point today. The
right,
story of
everyone.
Dorie. Yeah.
Story of Dorie.
With my friend named Corey and Rory.
Yes.
That's
Just add to
hilarious.
it. All right, Isaac.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on
Full Time to Travel Time.
Ooh, she nailed it.